Press it!
Press.
Hey, Blue Table fans! I was going shockwaves of happiness, but I don't want you guys to get kind of burned out on that. You know, I don't want you to be like addicts where, you know, you need more and more happiness to kind of get happy. How's it going, Brett? All right, I'm going to... Did you need something? No, we're just going to say goodbye. Okay, bye. Hey, can you pause for a second? I'm going to tell you how awesome vampire counts are and make my own feeble attempt at showing you some of the synergy that happens with them. So here's the studio vampire counts. All right, let's roll. Okay, so anyway, so we added this Terrorgeist, the What's It. I don't have the Banshees around it because I think they don't look very good. Plus, I'm going to turn them actually into Tomb Banshees, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me get my rule books and stuff. First off, as far as I could tell, if you're charged by multiple things with terror, you got to make that test every single time. So somebody let me know if that's not correct. All right, so first, let's talk about Cairn wraiths. And here they are, all nice and ranked up. There's 2 entries for Cairn wraiths in the book. One is in Heroes, where they are 65 points, and the other is in the rare choices, where they are 50 points. I'm sorry, 60, not 65. So, and they're ethereal, so the only way to hurt them at all is by breaking them in combat, which is bad, or by magic or magic items. So the Cairn wraiths are great for coming up the side because they can deal with chariots. Chariots and those light units are just going to go down to the Cairn wraiths. Because if a chariot charges a unit of Cairn wraiths, guess what it does? Nothing. It gets +1 for its charging and then probably gets hacked to pieces. Now, but let's talk about Tomb Banshees. So let's say I have 5 Tomb Banshees as heroes, and they are. So let's just say these are them. So they are 90 points each. Excuse me, 95 points each. Today's the day of being off by 5. So they're 95 points each. So this is quite an investment to get 5 of them. But observe. They have howling, they have ghostly howl, which is an 8-inch range attack. It's a shooting attack. It doesn't say that it hits automatically, but their ballistic skill is 0, so that wouldn't make sense if it didn't. And the description seems to indicate that it does. So what you do is, let's say this is an enemy unit. In fact, let's make this into like a chariot. This little marker there. So their move is 6. So they can use this attack even if they're in close combat or marched. So their move is 6, so they can move 12 and still shoot the 8-inch ghostly howl attack, which is in 20-inch basically death range. So if a chariot charges, plink, it can't do anything because it's ethereal. But here's how it works. Let's say it's an orc chariot, because I'm playing with Josh this Wednesday, right? So the orc chariot is leadership 7. So what I do is my banshees are like way far away like this. Blah, 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 blah. So, and by the way, this is less than 20 inches here. So I march one up. Let's say I just march them up. And let's say there's other units. Let's say there's a couple chariots here. Ooh, let's call them high elf chariots. Let's say they're those smug, self-righteous high elves. God, I hate those guys. So you move them up, just bold as can be. Go ahead, charge me. What are you going to do? So, yeah, that's right. No, I didn't mean really charge them.
Oh.
So I move them up. They can do their ghostly howl. In fact, they can do it a little farther away like that, 8 inches. So I do 1. The leadership on the high elf chariot is 8. So what I do is I roll 2d6 and I add 2. So that's 6 plus 2 is 8. I subtract their leadership. That's the number of wounds it takes with you don't roll the wound, and they get no armor save. I do believe armor saves of any kind. So no armor saves allowed. No, it doesn't say of any kind. But I guess what other kind would there be? So this one did nothing. Now I do the next one. So that one does nothing. Uh-oh. I think my example is going to fall on its face here. But that is some pretty below average rolling. So now I do the third one. Right? 6 again. Okay, now I'm toast. And then now the fourth one. Whoops, that's a 5, so that does nothing. And then now I do the 6th one, so here it comes, or the 5th one. Oh, there you go, now I've killed something. So that's a 9, plus 2 is 11, minus 8 is 3 wounds. So that I actually didn't even kill 1. How do you like that? They can also, by the way, charge and use it before close combat. So that's actually not a bad thing either. So let's do the example again, but with me not rolling terribly, okay? So, well, actually, if you just took averages, it'd be 9, so they do 1 wound each. So them taking out both chariots is actually pretty unlikely now that I think about it. But you also have to understand that averages don't really matter because all you need is one good roll to wipe something out. So for example, this one, let's try it again. Okay, there's 8, so that's 2 wounds, right? And then the next one, nothing. Next one, there you go, so that's 1 wound. So there's 3. Wow, I think I'm just going to do average. Yeah, that's nothing. And then the last one, there it is, so that kills it. So, yeah, okay, I think I just didn't make my point because this is 500 points of whatever, and if you're really using that to just kill a 110-point chariot, okay, wouldn't it have been better just to do an uber block for 500 points and just roll something over instead of trying to do tricky tricks? So that makes me question, guy, what are the tomb banshees good for, right? Now they do have the ethereal rule, which makes them extremely, like, it's hard to get around that, especially if your army had a lot of ethereal stuff. Like what if you took, you know, and then you took the banshees or whatever in the hero slots and the other ones in rare. All right, but this isn't what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you is this Necromancer battery. So observe, giant wad of zombies. Let's just put those out, right? Okay, so let's assume this is like a giant block of 60. And then let's put, this is just an idea. Maybe it's terrible, but I'm going to try it out. Okay, so let's say here's some Necromancers, and you could spread them out. I don't know why you would want to do that, but there it is. So, or you could put them in a unit of skeletons or whatever, just for some protection. So like if somebody gets shooting attacks off, you just take the skeletons and not the Necromancers. But you put them behind like this, like an inch behind, so stuff can't really shoot at them. And you can't get rid of the zombies except by actually killing all of them. So here we go. So you put the mortis engine up here. Blink. All right, and let's say there's a character or two in here making this zombie unit extremely scary, right? So let's do a sample magic phase, okay? So I have my level 4 wizard, vampire, right? Let's say he's just out there. So let's say this is the enemy spellcaster. So 4, 4, and then I have 1, 1, 1, 1. I have 4 level 1 guys there. So let's roll us up a magic phase and see how it plays out. So, okay, I got a 4 and a 3. Guess what? Couldn't be more average than that. So let's just forget about channeling, even though that would probably be to my advantage with 5 spellcasters there. In fact, you probably get an average of at least 1 extra dice each time. In fact, I'm going to take that. I'm going to call my dice pool 8, and then dispel pool of 4 there. So let's get my power dice out, right? So now let us start casting. So what I do, and so basically in a magic phase, because I started thinking about this, well, you have power dice versus dispel dice, right? But what you really have is the numbers that those power dice convey. So like if I rolled 1 dice per spell for all 8 spells, well, I'd be adding, and let's assume further in this fantasy world that my level 4, I had level 4 wizards doing it, I would actually be adding 4 each time. So if you multiply that out, that becomes successively harder to dispel, if that makes sense. You got to add up your actual casting values each time. So the more you're able to add your level, the better that is. The problem is your level 1 guys, it's like every time the level 4 tries to dispel the level 1, he's adding his 4 just for throwing it out there, right? But the level 1 guy, he's only adding 1, and that's where the Mortis engine comes in, is this adds 2 to nearby friendly spellcasters using lore of vampires. So now each of my level 1 guys are adding 3 to their casting roll. And so let's see how that plays out. So my vampire, let's say for openers, let's say for openers, my level 4 vampire throws out, what is it called? Hold on. There's the name, the one that raises stuff. So let's say it's just something people want to get rid of that. In fact, no, hold on, it's in here. Okay, this is embarrassing. There it is. So let's say he does raise dead, which is 9. So, and let's say he's within the range of the Mortis engine. Now he's adding 6. So here it comes. So I just throw 2 dice because I don't want to miscast. Oh, 11. So guess what? That is 6. That's 17. So how many dice? This guy, just to get rid of this one spell, to dispel it, the opponent would have to throw all 4 of his dice at it, right? So now, guess what? I get a unit of 2d6 plus 3 zombies. So, okay, let's keep track of the number of zombies raised. 2d6 plus 3, there you go. 6 plus 3 is 9. So I've got 9 zombies in a unit. Hold on, I can do that. There you go. So that's the number of zombies. So now, but he's still sitting on the 6 dice, the 4 dice, right? So now, what happens is I start with my 4 low-level casters. Now think about this, because at level 1, they each only have the 1 spell. That's invocation. It raises things, right? So now, 1 guy casts, 2nd guy casts, 3rd guy casts, 4th guy casts, but then I have 2 dice unused. So the higher level guy could throw these, and then, or the lower level guys could throw 2. So now let's try it. So first level 1 wizard, he throws a 4 plus 1 for level is 5, plus 2 for the Mortis engine is 7. So to dispel that, okay, I'll throw 1 dice at it, okay? So that's dispelled. So that was to my disadvantage. So next guy, he throws 4 plus 3 is 7. So the level 4 says, you know what, I'll risk it with a 3. Oh, guess what? He dispels it again. So now, that's not cast. And guess what? You know what? I'm glad I did this, because now I'm seeing, actually, this strategy really doesn't work very good, basically. But why doesn't it work good? Well, first off, who gives a rat's butt that you're spending a whole magic phase trying to raise zombies? But if you do cast it successfully, your heroes, a hero within 12 inches recovers a single wound. So that's nice. The wizard or another friendly model. Just a friendly model. That could be anything. That could be the Mortis engine itself. Could regain wounds from that. So, well, guy, what else? Why would that be good? Well, one of the Necromancers can be a Master of the Dead, which allows them to raise skeletons beyond their starting value, right? I still think the numbers for this works out. Just because of, yeah, anyway. All right, I'm sorry to have wasted everybody's time. I was excited, but my theory hammer just didn't play out. But I'm still posting this. You can turn it off now. That red, started it again. All right.